The audit is, as usual, it's a clean and unqualified opinion that they provided us. We gave you the whole package, which is their letter of opinion to the board, management letter, as well as the complete set of financial statements. Everything is, looks good. There's no discrepancies. There's
No red
issues,
flags.
There's no findings. If you want me to go walk through the balance sheet or any of the rest of it, I can.
That's probably not a bad idea, just for the public record.
Okay. So, besides the introductory part of the financial statement, the balance sheet shows cash assets of $319,606, nominal accounts payable of $1,849, and an ending position of $319,606. The activities from last year was actually a very good year in terms of revenues generated, $254,850. We have our normal expenses of legal, accounting, and then the management fee, which is a portion of the fee that goes to the Metroplex Authority. So we end up with a cash position at the end of the year of $317,575. The notes go through the standard parts of the organization, its origins, as well as existing projects.
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept the audit.
Motion, can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion of the audit? Hearing none, all in favor of the audit committee accepting the audit, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And at this time, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the audit.
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Audit committee is adjourned. Calling to order the March 30th, 2022 meeting of the Schenectady County Industrial Development Agency Board. We'll start with the approval of our minutes from the October 27th, 2021 meeting. Do I have a motion and a second?
I'll make the motion. Second.
Any discussion on the minutes from October 27th?
No.
All right, then, all in favor of accepting the motion of the minutes for the October 27th meeting, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That brings us to our treasurer's report, and I will again call on Jamie, as I did in the audit committee, to present the treasurer's report.
So the treasurer's report just shows the first 2 months of activities. So not much to speak of, just our legal fees and accounting fees. The only expenses that have accrued so far this year. Our cash position stands at $316,895.
A motion in a second.
I'll make the
All in
motion. We accept the treasurer's report.
All signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The first item on our agenda is Resolution 50822, and this is the contract for audit services for the coming year, and authorizes a professional service contract with Cusack and Company CPAs, and these are the folks who did the 2021 audit for us and have done our audits for a number of years. Do I have a motion and a second?
I'll move. Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Second item is, there.
Yeah.
Mike?
Good morning. The second item is Resolution 50922, related to Glenwick Development LLC. This is a project in the town of Glenville, and it's an authorization to refinance and some related actions. I take a motion in a second and then ask Jamie to explain this.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Jamie.
So the resolution involves a refinancing for Glenwood Development LLC in Glenville. We're changing lenders from Pioneer Bank to Berkshire Bank. The debt is $19 million, which is a bit higher than what they've been holding previously when we built the project. I think you're familiar with it already on Dutch Meadow Lane. Great project. It's been very successful. Because the IDA holds a pilot on the property and an interest in the property, we need to approve any of the refinancing. So board consent is needed. They are not asking for a mortgage recording tax exemption. So this is just straight up approval of Berkshire Bank as the primary lender of the project.
Any questions?
Jamie said it's a great project, very strongly supported by the town. led to other development in that area, trail networks and the Veterans Memorial that's planned out there. And it's very experienced developer, has these kind of, developments around the region. So we got a very good pilot out of it. It's added tax base and very good development.
So no issues surfaced. Let's see, I have a motion in a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Moving along to Resolution 51022. This is Rivers Ledge of Niskuna LLC, and this is additional project financing and related actions. Motion and second, and then I'll ask Jamie to explain.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Jamie?
So the project's still under construction. You've been down there. It's fabulous the way it's just grown access to the Mohawk River. We did have to hold a public hearing on this, which was Monday at the Niskuna Public Library, and no one attended, so we received no comments on it like the prior project. Because there is an IDA pilot, the IDA holds an interest in the property. We need to approve additional financing for the project. So this is still with M&T Bank, which was approved at the lender a year or so ago. They're increasing their financing by a little over $23 million. So the total financing is $42 million. They are asking for a mortgage reporting tax exemption on this increase in their mortgage. So that it gives them a benefit of about $300,000. And that's what the action is for today, to authorize that so they can complete the closing on the project. Complete the project, sir.
I've heard nothing but positive about that development. In fact, I was speaking to someone who just moved there yesterday, and they absolutely love it.
Ray says he's gonna move there.
And we had a lot of buzz about this project, former junkyard. This genius, they originally were building 80, and they're going right to the next tranche to go to 160 units. And there's another phase plan with some senior units. That's a little bit more problematic because it's in wetlands. But former junkyard paid $15,000 a year in taxes. A good example of our pilots. For 5 years, they paid $150, $160, 10 times what they were paying before, what the site was producing before, and then it goes to full taxes on a $40 million asset. And the reason we had to do the pilot at all was because, they look at all the improvements they've done: trails, parks, parking lot for the bike trail, water and sewer connection to the city, so it creates revenue for the city as well. Really a great use of the and we always want to thank the Williams family, because they could have just sat on the property. Longtime town residents, really solid people, and we're ready to move on. And Peter Louisi and his team for fixing this site and making it something that's show place. It's also a momentum builder, and shows one project leads to the other. If we hadn't ever done the Mall Carver project, I don't think this project would happen. Now people want to be on the waterfront. These two projects, really, when you're on the water, they're not that far. And the goal is to continue to link those projects along the waterfront we have in Schencetady.
Is it strictly residential?
Yes, at this point, the senior project has some commercial space in it under the planned development district that they got approved from the town. There's really a need for more apartments in Niskuna, especially senior apartments. And again, the river views drive down there, it's nice. And they were great during the construction. The bike trail was closed for like a week. They did a great job of signing it and getting it open as soon as they could, and they met all their obligations of the project. So.
And it's another one of these projects, in my opinion, that, you get people that get to a certain age, they grew up in the county, they lived in the county, they want to stay in the county, but they want to get rid of the house.
Exactly.
It's really a great
I've
fit.
seen this around there, people,
It'd be a great fit for you, Ray. It's your bike, you hop right on the bike and you can ride to work.
That's what I've had a couple people tell me recently that have looked at it, said, they could just bike downtown. It's really a nice project.
Okay, and the mortgage recording exemption is provided for under the IDA rules, so there's no issue there. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
This brings us to number 6, which is, looks like we're doing this as a consent agenda. What follows are 5 different policies that we adopt on an annual basis. So maybe we'll move to put this in a consent agenda, and then Jamie and Ray will walk us through those policies for the benefit of some of our newer members, and then we can take one consolidated vote on all the policies. I think
Mr.
that was-
Chairman, I move that we take the next 5 items as one consent agenda.
Second. Probably took me longer to explain that than I would to vote 5 times, but our policies, mission statement, investment policy.
Yeah, so the policies are all unchanged. These are the standard policies we've had for several years now. What's probably worth noting is that there are 3 separate reports contained here about 2021. These all get submitted to the authority's budget office. The deadline for submission is tomorrow. So if you did have a chance to look at the materials, I think it's worth noting that under the performance results for 2021, new capital investments approved by this board was over $137 million, in part due to the Rivers Ledge project and the Chippy project. 5,228 jobs were reported, which is an increase of 305 jobs from last year. And pilot payments have also increased from prior years. Our investment policy remains unchanged. The investment report is prepared by Cusack and Company, so it goes through some of the things I talked about earlier in the audit. And then our real property disposition policy also is unchanged. There is a report that shows that the IDA owns 3 properties, so that gets reported to the AGO. We didn't dispose of any. And our procurement and whistleblower policies are also unchanged.
So, any question or discussion?
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda. Second.
And I will only comment that when you look through these, you realize that we have a very well-managed, very productive IDA that produces jobs at a very reasonable rate. So we are not only compliant with the state regulations, but we are doing a good job at it as well. So all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, our policies are adopted. Resolution 5/16/22 is, I guess it's our annual meeting. And this pertains to the election of officers. I'll take a motion in a second and then ask staff if we've made any changes to our officers. And if not, then our officers are our officers.
Well, we have made changes, so.
Then we'll have to hear what those changes are.
I'll make the motion.
Dr. Gardner, are you seconding?
Yes.
Well, let's have a discussion about the changes to our officers.
They are largely the same. Gary Hughes remains as chairman, Evan as vice chair. Nick McDonald, who's not here today, will become our new treasurer. That was his position at the city IDA the last few years. Chris is still our secretary, and we've given Mike Martell the responsibility of assistant secretary, since that's a key position for signing all these resolutions and things. So we've got some backup. Chris needs it.
Require someone
And welcome, Stephanie.
close by, and we welcome Stephanie as our newest board member. Thank you for being here. And, look forward to your contributions to the IDA. That having been said, all in favor of our resolution 5/16/22, which is the election of officers, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Well,
Sounds good.
I look forward to getting back together with you guys.
Yes, yeah, we'd like that. We're all for getting people back together. All right, now we've reached the resolution that we convened the audit committee for, which is the 2021 audit, resolution 5/17/22. Motion and a second.
I'll move. Second.
We had some discussion on this, but if anybody has any additional thoughts that occurred to them, this would be the time for that. Hearing none, all in favor of accepting the 2021 audit, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any other business to come before the
I just
IDA?
want to note and thank Connie for being here. I know she's very busy, but she and Jamie, after this meeting, are going to try to iron out the last details of what we call the Chippy project, the Champlain Hudson Power Express project, which is a $100 million investment in the county, and it's going to provide $72 million in new tax revenue to school districts and towns and the county over the next year. So it's a very important project. It also result in $1 million fee to the county IDA, which is terrific. And so we thank you. We're down to the last few open items.
Down to the last year open. They have a long way to go.
Yeah.
They've got, a dozen of these or more. They're sort of starting north and working their way south, so they haven't hit New York City yet, which will be a challenge.
We help them with getting other IDAs on board, and it's just a great project, so appreciate their time today.
So this is a totally self-interested question as chair of the IDA, but when our piece closes, we get our fee, or we have to wait till the whole thing is plugged in?
No, you'll get paid, initially. So everything will be held in escrow until they're ready to go to financing. Whether they have to close all of them, get any financing in place is, sort of their issue.
So it goes. Let's see, that didn't require a vote. Any other business? Hearing none, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn the IDA meeting.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
IDA meeting is adjourned. Now, pick up the other packet. And convene the audit committee of the Schenectady County Capital Resource Corporation for the purpose of reviewing the 2021 audit of the Capital Resource Corporation. And we'll ask Jamie to walk us through this as well, which I think was not as active as the.
And not as active, it's a little sad in its own way. But CUSAC did the review and prepared the audit. Again, a clean, unqualified opinion, no issues at all with the audit, as you can see. Things are a little on the thin side for the CRC with assets of $70,492. Very little activity in 2021. It contains the usual notes from prior years. So other than a small cash balance, nothing really to report on. But you
Maybe,
can get by.
maybe you can explain what the CRC is, so maybe
That would be useful.
familiarize Stephanie with.
Yeah, we had, Stephanie and I had met before.
Oh, you did? Okay, so you got it,
I
okay.
think go through it, yeah.
For purposes of the public, though, it's not a bad idea.
The CRC originated in 2010, and it's an output of changes in state law regarding industrial development agencies' abilities to assist not-for-profit corporations. So the CRC is like an IDA, but it helps large not-for-profits. We've assisted Union College, Baptist Health, Sunnyview Hospital would be another one. They've got some plans coming up for expansion. And so those would be the kinds of businesses that the CRC can help and has helped.
We have a pretty robust and large not-for-profit sector in the county, and we're here to help.
Yep.
So,
It's a good alternative to going to the dormitory authority of the state, much quicker and lower fees.
faster, local, and here to help.
Yep.
That's us. Any questions about the audit? Otherwise, ask for a motion in a second to the audit committee to approve the audit.
I make a motion, we approve the audit.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn the audit committee. The second.
Move. I'll second.
In favor, signify by saying aye. The audit committee is adjourned. Here we go. Calling to order the board meeting of the Schenectady County Capital Resource Corporation. And the first item is the approval of minutes from the October 27th, 2021 meeting. Need a motion in a second.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments on those minutes from way back in October? No. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We move along to resolution 22922, which authorizes professional
You don't want to
services.
do the treasurer's report?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know it's sad. I said it was sad, but
Our next item is the treasurer's report. I'll ask for a motion in a second, and I'll ask Jamie to deliver the minimalist treasurer's report.
I'll make that motion.
as you can see, it's a 2-month report for the year. Not much activity other than the audit expense of $4,200. And you'll see our cash on hand stands at a little over $17,000.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Here we go. Now, Resolution 22922, professional service contract for CUSAC and Company, or CPA, very similar to the resolution in previous meeting. Motion and second.
I'll move. Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion's adopted. And the 2021 audit, this is Resolution 23022, adopting the comprehensive audit that our audit committee just reviewed, approved.
I'll make the
Motion and second for that.
I'll move.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have a similar set of policies, not surprising, for the Capital Resource Corporation, all 5 of them. And we will dispose of those in the same way as we did with the earlier meeting. If I can have a motion, place those in the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion, we take these next 5 policies and make them consent agenda.
Second.
All right. Second by Mr. Christo, seconded by Mr. Gardner. We should at least discuss them.
So there's little activity to report on policies that remain the same for prior years. With respect to the 3 reports that I referenced earlier, the mission statement and performance measures are de minimis at this point. We don't have any projects in the queue. The investment report was prepared by CUSAC and Company, so it's up to speed. And with respect to the property report, the CRC does not own any property.
We are a civil organization,
Here to help when necessary.
here to help,
Good to have on hand.
local and here to help. I think I have a motion and a second on this. All in favor of the policy?
We have to, did we vote to make it a consent agenda?
Yes,
first?
we did.
We did.
Okay, so
We
now
took
we-
that, we took
So
that.
now we
vote.
need a motion to accept the consent.
That is
agenda.
correct.
I make that motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
See, that's why we have to have a secretary, to keep track of what we've already moved and seconded.
That's what staff does.
I understand but it's under your imprimatur. The last item we have is our annual meeting resolution 23622, election of officers. Anticipating some changes in these. Can we have a motion in a second and then some discussion?
I'll move.
Second.
So it replicates the county IDA officer slate that we talked about a few minutes ago. And so we thank you, Paul, for your time and service and volunteering for both organizations.
Any questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any other business?
Just that we did reach out to Ellis Medicine. They're doing a big parking garage. They have, their financing is tied up with HUD, so they weren't able to use the CRC. They did look at it, but a lot of what they're doing involves HUD financing, which is typical for hospital, I guess. We did reach out with Connie's help to Sunnyview. They're doing a $10 million project. Again, because they're part of a large multi-state network now, they had other financing opportunities. So, but it's, as Jamie said, it's a great tool. When we did the Union College project, the engineering building, the fees were a windfall for the city and the county, and it's been a great instrument. You know, helped us many times to generate some good activity for these large nonprofits when they go to the capital markets and want to build large capital projects. So we're still out there talking to folks, and as Jamie said, when someone needs us, we'll be there and help folks with the CRC.
Absolutely. And probably should have made this point way back in the IDA meeting, but when we talk in terms of fees, the fees that both of these entities collect do get turned back into public benefit by various purposes. So we're not just piling up fees here. We're trying to operate in a way that supports other projects in the county and helps, our overall goal of growth development. That having been said,
I move to adjourn.
is there a second?
Second.
Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
9:54.
Wow, the world.
Yeah, made it.
We're